Really
that
nice.
was the main purpose of buying the farm and having the Airbnb. But we bought it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're the George Clooney of Doyle.
I don't know if this is going to come up. Always thought about having a farm someday or nice home or some land. And, you know, to be able to have it now is pretty awesome.
But all right, we're ready to go. This is the No Prisoners podcast. I am Andrew. This is Gilmar. We have Amy and Steve Servis Sr. here tonight. But before we start talking about what they do and what they're about, we have happy hour, which with this episode coming out is happy hour is possibly tomorrow if you're listening to this.
For sure.
So you got to get out there, 4 p.m., 86 West, upstairs in Doylestown, best restaurant in Bucks County, possibly the world. And then I think that's it for right now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sponsored by Tile Studio.
Yeah.
Can't
Thank you,
forget.
Tile Studio,
Yes,
PA.
Thank you, Tile Studio.
You're the best.
Yeah, we love you.
We love you.
And now, without further ado, you guys are so nervous.
Yeah, we're not nervous at all. There.
I mean, we've done these before, but now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, shit.
Is it the lights? Maybe it's the lights.
It's him.
Oh, it's you. Stop crossing your arms.
Yeah.
Uncross your arms.
Yeah.
Look, all of a sudden he's like,
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Dude.
it's like, uh-oh.
I'll be open.
Yeah. Be open with self.
Yeah, be open with self. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, dude. Be
But
open.
you guys own Rocking Horse Acres in, is it Plumstead?
Pipersville.
Pipersville?
Yep.
What's the dividing line between Doylestown and where you guys are at?
Like, distance-wise, it's probably about 5 miles from the center of Doylestown.
Yeah, we're
not too far.
just outside of Doylestown Township.
We always
So basically from Doylestown Borough, we're exactly, I think, 6.5 miles or something like that.
Like super easy if you go up
Yeah.
611, just straight up 611 until you get to Stump Road.
Yeah.
Make the right, and it's right down the road.
I always, or at least now I know where it is. I'm familiar with this area, but there was a period of time when you guys first bought that property that I would just be driving and then be like, oh, wait a minute, there's the...
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what road am I on?
Yeah.
It felt
Yeah.
like your house was on every road.
But when we first got it, I was the same. I'm like, I don't even know where this is. I don't know how to get to Plumsteadville. I don't know Pipersville at all. I don't know
Yeah, we were taking a few different
which
ways.
firehouse you're supposed to go to as a landmark, because there's 2 of them. I'm like, I don't know where I am.
But we bought it.
Yeah.
I love how branded the farm has become, like the logo.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have every piece of gear out there. I'm like,
trying.
I'm like, they come in with the coats, they got the hats, they got the shirts, and it's not even like, it's really nice stuff. Like, you didn't.
Yeah, we didn't want to do just plain T-shirts. We buy the clothing and then we have it done. So
Okay.
her jacket, she bought our jackets. We buy the shirts. I'm like, I'm not just going to wear a typical T-shirt. So buy this and then we send it out. And we have it done so that you want to wear it. You want to look good in it.
Yeah, you have to look good in it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to wear a Gildan
especially-
T-shirt.
Especially when you're the George Clooney of Doyle.
I don't know if this is going to come up.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to do a whole separate podcast on like the secret of youth, because you guys definitely have something figured out. Every time I see you guys, you're like you're having such a good time. So
I think that's what it is.
That's what the secret of youth is. To just keep having fun.
Yeah.
And ignore that you're working 24/7.
I'm like, anytime we're like walking through town to like go pick up takeout food, and we see you guys in the bar, you're like, hey! And next thing you know, we're in there, and it's like our takeout
We have you
food.
sucked in.
A couple of times we've had like takeout food still there. People are like, yo, you coming to get this? I'll be like, hey, I forgot. I got sucked in.
I saw the services on the way. I got screwed.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, your truck because it
service.
has your face on it is kind of like it's like a homing beacon. Like
It
it's
is.
just like I can figure out where you're at.
It's funny because we have friends that live up in like Pipersville, and they're like, "Oh, we drove by Doylestown. We drove by the bar, and your truck was outside." We're like, "Oh, I wonder if he's in there." I'm like,
Of
course I was in there. So now people know just stop on their way home because my
Yeah.
truck's there.
The best is living in town. I've had at least 2 people say, "Oh, that guy just parks the truck there for like the publicity," and I'm like, no, he's in
there.
and they're like, "How do you know?" And I'm like, I know him. I will call him right now. He will pick. That's that guy right there.
Probably like he couldn't possibly be at the bar that often, could he?
Yeah, I see his truck
you're like,
there
yeah.
every day. There's no way that guy's at a bar every day. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, there should be some sort of like game, like some sort of marketing game that you should do. Be like, dude, where is Steve Servis?
Set up decoy charts.
Didn't you talk about doing?
Yeah,
something
I
like
did
that?
talk about doing something like that.
Like you were gonna have people like
I was going to do like
post where they saw you or
post where
something?
they saw me, and I was going to do like a $50 like gift card for like business or something. But like they had to take a photo with my truck with their face next to my face, and then post it. So
Damn, you said $50 each.
yeah,
I'm gonna go all around Bucks County taking selfies.
one person.
One person. If we get 50 a day, then it'll be a draw of 1 to 50.
Dude, Gilmar quit his job.
I know.
Yeah, that'd be my full-time
I'll
job.
be
It's
like,
just
how did he get on my payroll so fast?
I'll have different masks on.
yeah, different disguises.
You just stay ski masked up. With your gold teeth.
Dude, I'll change ethnicities.
I mean,
Hair color.
you can do that nowadays.
I mean, yeah, I could identify as such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
There
could.
you go.
Yep.
That's a good technique, though.
You gotta get yourself out of this now.
Yeah. What? Out of what? Dude, I'm biracial.
But you guys are known for so much more than obviously Rocking Horse Acres. How long have you lived like in Bucks County or like just the general area of Bucks County or like Doylestown rather?
I grew up in Doylestown.
Okay.
And then when we first got married, we lived in Philly for, I don't know. Actually, no.
year.
When we first got married, we were in Hatboro.
Yeah, we went to Hatboro.
So we were in Hatboro for a couple years, outgrew the house with the 3 kids, and then moved to Warrington for 18 years. They moved out. Most of them did. The twins moved out. And then we just downsized into Doylestown to be closer to all of our fun spots, to where we park.
Yeah, you definitely have a really fun house.
Yeah.
So,
You have the backyard.
yeah.
You need to get the setup.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So, like, him, Steve being from the
I
city,
was from the city,
he
so
was enamored with
coming
having
up here
grass.
when I met her and went to her parents' house for like a dinner, I had a concrete backyard that was as big as this like booth. And then I go to her house and she had like 2 acres of grass. I was like, oh, I want to move here.
Hammocks. He's like, you can have a
I
hammock?
was like, you have a hammock? What the hell is that? So, yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like you got indigenous living in
Yeah,
the
So he's,
Yeah.
He's
Just that
always
guy
been-
with a blowgun. comes
Yeah.
out, like-
Yeah.
he's always been on the acreage hunt.
Yeah.
That is
Fair
a
to say.
common theme for Bucks County. I know that there is like a little bit of like a migratory pattern because a lot of people that I talk to that live in this area now they went to Council Rock South or not
Okay.
Council Rock South wasn't around, but Council Rock
Yeah.
or like Neshaminy,
Right,
and
right.
then they moved up this direction.
Up this way.
Yeah, so you moved pretty far up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents would always, drive up to like Bucks County and Peddler's Village over the years because we lived in a city and, we wanted to get out of there and just go, visit something new. So coming up here, I kind of knew it and always loved it. Always thought about having a farm someday or nice home or some land. And, to be able to have it now is pretty awesome, especially in Central Bucks. I mean, it's just a beautiful area to be, which is one of the reasons, why we talked about buying the farm and making the farm an Airbnb because of the visitors that come into Bucks County and the things you can do. And, the small little towns, New Hope, Doylestown, just so many
Yeah, there's
things,
just so many.
state parks and, climbing, areas. It's just awesome spot. So
Yeah, I think we all because we live here, we do take for granted how much
Absolutely.
tourism there is in the area. I definitely didn't start appreciating that until we started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Because when you see you can track like where the listens and things are coming or the traffic from the website. and it's coming from a lot of other places.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
But it looks like people that are like researching Bucks County.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
For
yeah.
the sake of travel. So
Yeah.
a lot of our and on our analytics on that side like is geared towards tourism.
Right.
Now.
See, like, you know, the Airbnbs that we have in Lake Harmony, we have 4 there. We understand where, you know, most of those people come from. It's a lot of New York, a lot of Philadelphia, and, you know, just coming into the Pocono area. When we took on the Airbnb in Bucks County, that was like, where are these people going to come from? You know, we didn't really have a exact area, New York, Delaware, whatever,
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Did you talk to anyone
No.
that had a rental?
You just bought it. Yeah.
You know, I
Do
don't
you
do
know
that
Steve?
shit.
Have you met him?
Full send,
Full
Steve.
send, yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah. No, I was like, yep.
Steve's like, buy it and we'll make it work.
That's right. Build it and they will come.
Yeah.
And they did. Like,
Yeah.
it's people come in the area to bring families together that used to live here that now are coming back because they're having a birthday party. They're having a graduation party. There's a funeral locally. They need to be here for a couple of days to deal with family. Where can you stay really in kind of Doylestown, Pipersville, Plumsteadville, New Hope? Unless you're at a B&B and you got a room, we have we can sleep 11 people on an 11-acre, farm. So it's, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. A whole family can come.
Yeah, it's
Do
super
you guys
comfortable.
have like a guest that fits a mold of some kind? Like, is there one type of people or like guest that stands out?
You could answer
Or is
that
it just
for that.
completely random? Like every time it's a different situation.
It really every time I would say is quite different from the next. Like, we'll have family, like we just had a family come down for their winter break and they were from New York and they were like, you know what, we're not going anywhere. We're not planning to really do anything, but we just need to be in a different location than sitting at home. Because at least we'll do things as a family if we're in a different location. If we stay at home, we'll just keep doing our everyday day, right? So, they came down, but they loved, we always let the guests feed the chickens and help feed the sheep and stuff like that. And they love that. They can pick the eggs and eat the eggs if they want to.
Because you're there every day doing
We're there every
farm
day.
chores
Yeah,
anyway.
we're there doing handling it no matter what. But we've had like Steve said, it just runs the gamut. Like I have a group coming this weekend, a bunch of girls. I don't know what they're doing. They asked if they could play with the sheep. I said no. I don't know if they just plan on running around outside. But I've had
That the women come, like a woman's weekend came down
Yeah.
from New York. They actually brought a photographer with them.
Yeah.
And they dressed as like cowgirls and they just hung out in the backyard and had bonfires and,
yoga.
drank and did yoga. And then this guy like followed them around the farm and just took photos of them.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It
Dang,
just-
dude,
that's
you could
cool.
follow girls
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, what's going on?
He's like, I
See,
do
you-
that shit
you
all the
should-
time.
you shouldn't be working with this schlub. You should be going taking photography for these hot chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm helping local businesses right now. I think that's my focus. Then I'll do hot girls later.
You'll circle back around to hot girls.
Yeah, when I got time,
Yeah, you are really talented that you could just like do that.
Yeah, I
Just be
could.
like, yeah, I'll take a picture of a girl or two.
Yeah, I'll take photos of my girlfriend. That's fine.
Yeah, you take really good pictures of ladies. I'll
Thanks.
say that.
I appreciate that.
Good lady photog.
Yeah. That's cool that happened though.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It's cool because it, like she was saying, it is really different. We've had people come celebrate their 80th birthday parties
80th
and
birthdays,
stuff
90th
like that.
birthdays, 60th anniversaries. Tons of families coming in for weddings. So, mainly a lot of people coming because there's a wedding in New Hope, like at a destination or at Terrain. We've had a couple Terrain weddings already, where family members need a place to stay, things like that. So it just works out really, really
That
nice.
was the main purpose of buying the farm and having the Airbnb. One, that we could help Stephen and Nick with what they were doing. And that we knew, like, a lot of the wedding venues in Bucks County, they don't have anywhere for the family or really even the newlyweds to stay. Great area, big barn,
Like the
cool
big,
wedding.
beautiful barn,
where they all
venues
stay.
are so pretty.
And if you look around Bucks County, there's a lot of wedding venues, but
No farms.
nowhere
So
to stay.
Would
Yeah.
you buy another adjacent type property for something like that?
You mean like a wedding venue?
A wedding venue or another farmhouse or
Absolutely. We've already talked about it.
It wouldn't need to be adjacent.
No,
It could be anywhere.
Yeah, as long as the township.
But you would
and
do
the
another
permanent-
style, like the same style of property.
We love
or
to-
like a
we-
bigger one or a
We
smaller
love
one.
doing different styles. We actually looked at a small little one in Doylestown, and it was just something different we wanted to do.
The boss is shaking her
Yeah,
head.
no, it's fine. It's but it was different style, and since each one of our homes in the Poconos, they're all different style.
Yeah.
We design them, we fix them. As you know, I do most of it.
I've seen you out there roofing in the middle by yourself up there.
Yep. So, yeah, we would absolutely buy another one in Bucks County.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It would just depend on what the house looks like, and then you just kind of go with your design from there.
Yeah.
But the demand, you're saying the demand is obviously there, that it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a pretty much
If
a
you have a-
guarantee if
yeah.
you do your work.
Yeah. If you have a good product, there's Visit Bucks. Visit Bucks. We're affiliated with. They're amazing. They do an amazing job bringing people to the area, trying to make sure they're promoting everything that everyone's doing, whether it's arts festivals or any arts and crafts things or farmers markets or all that stuff. So they do a great job in making sure that anybody who's looking to come to Bucks County has that one single resource. What do I do with my kids if I come into Bucks County? They have a whole section on all these awesome kid things to do that I've never even taken my kids to some of these things. They all grew up here.
They did all right.
Yeah, I know. They didn't. My kids did
they're
not
fine.
suffer. But my point is, there's so many hidden things to do in Bucks County that, a lot of us that were raised here forget about or never even uncovered or whatever. But
Yeah, people from the area, they don't go to Peddler's Village.
No.
Yeah.
No. And
You
that's
take
why,
your kid on the train ride one time,
Yeah.
get the
And
Santa
that's it.
pictures, and you never do that again.
Giggleberry Fair, one and done.
Yeah.
We joke about. I was joking with a couple of friends maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago about it. They all have kids, and they're like, "No, we don't do that."
And
you go there
that's-
one time, you get people from out of town that want to go, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Nah."
And that's why I
Yeah.
think people take it for granted who live here because
It's cool stuff.
This is our
It's-
everyday.
yeah.
Our everyday is driving around with covered bridges and these really cool state parks and all this stuff to go to and these castles
It
and
rocks.
museums.
Yeah.
We live here, and then other people are like, "Holy shit, you live next to a castle?" It's like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no big deal. They make tile by hand for no reason. I was talking. I'm emailing with them to get them on the podcast.
Oh, yeah?
soon.
That would be awesome.
I was
Yeah,
like,
they're
you guys
cool.
should come on, and then they just kind of ghosted us, and then out of nowhere they're like, yeah, wait a minute, I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about handmade stuff with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
Yeah, that is a really cool place.
It is a really cool. I've traveled all over the world and the country, and you kind of, until I did a lot of that, you come back to Bucks County and you're like, oh, you know what? It's pretty awesome here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty sweet. We
Yeah.
kind of have we have a lot going for ourselves here, and we have business, the housing market,
Yep.
everything. This place
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah,
If you
it
take
really
some
does.
time and visit the museums and visit the art, the art museum and even the library is beautiful. Just walk around and look at what's around, even just in the center of town, and then spread your wings a little bit and go find some other locations and Kid Castle Park and things like that. You can't find anything nicer. There's nowhere nicer. It's amazing, and there's just culture. Go take a movie. Go to the oldest movie theater. At the cinema in the center of town. It's the nicest movie theater ever.
I've never been.
Oh, you
we
should.
were
You
going to go
totally
this
should.
past weekend because it was supposed to rain on Sunday, and it didn't end up raining, so we didn't go.
Yeah,
It's-
no, you should.
It's really nice there.
I
Really
drug
nice.
him there for a movie, and
Yeah.
he was.
I
Kicking
loved it.
He was kicking and screaming, and he
It was
loved
awesome.
it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody saw his car parked in town, and they couldn't find him. They're like, my people need me.
They were texting him. He's like, "I'm in the goddamn movie theater."
Sending out the bat signal.
They had his location.
Yeah.
They're like, Steve's beacon. It's in the movie theater. Is
the hell?
Is
Was
he
he
okay?
kidnapped?
Yeah.
They're only playing romantic comedies this weekend. You gotta do something.
It's only chick
It's
flicks.
funny.
So, you guys have been doing the Airbnb thing for a good amount of years now, and you're obviously in the real estate business. And I know that you came from corporate America.
Yeah.
But like, what other kind of businesses did you guys like dabble in, or like what led you down this entrepreneurial, like, because I feel like there's like more to.
Do you have like a 20 minutes for him to go through all the
Because
companies?
I just feel I feel like there's more to this like path that like you don't take risks like this without having a whole bunch of good stories.
My first business, I was 18. I had a limo business. I didn't go to college, and I started that with my dad. But through all that, I've had a deli, a luncheonette, a water ice truck. I had a Rude T-shirt business.
We used to hand make Rude T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like if you would have sang, we would make it for you.
I had a power washing company. I had a painting company. I did contracting. Got into real estate. Real estate was the one thing that kept my attention. And I think that's when 2007 I got my license. We had one or two properties at the time, very small. I think our first property was like 17 grand. The second one was like 30 grand.
Yeah, but they were like
that.
long-term rents that we didn't do short-term.
Yeah, and they were in Philly. They were in Kensington, you know. But real estate kept my attention. Amy at the time was in technology, and we had kids, and I was trying other businesses. But once I started in the real estate, I stayed there. And that's where, you know, I started making a little bit of money and start building, and always wanted to invest. Then the investing started, and a $30,000 property turned into 50, and the 50 turned into 75, and we bought them and 1031 exchanged them, and now today we have lake homes and farms and houses in Doylestown and units in Quakertown, and it's just that stepping stone of, and again, it really did start from 17 grand, 30 grand. Like, I had 5 grand, like, to put down and got the first house. And it did. And then we took all them, we fixed them up, we put the people in them. Her and I would go down, do it. Yeah, man.
God.
We would go and we would fix them at nighttime and on a weekend. And she would meet me. She would leave Philly and come to Port Richmond and help me, you know, fix up the homes. And we did that for years and had renters in them. But then, you know, you sell them for, you know, twice the money, and you 1031 exchange it.
Move on up.
You know, and just put it into a $300,000 property, and then that one's, you know, is, you know, all of a sudden you're doubling your income, you know, per month. And so that's how we did it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not rocket science, but man, it's always pushing forward and always taking a chance. And when we got into Airbnb, our first home in Lake Harmony was in 2015, and we bought that for 185 grand when we bought that. And that thing's, you know, went up a lot. And
That was the model for the Airbnb.
Yeah,
and
that's
you know
what
what?
that
And
started,
I will say, and I think Amy will agree, that totally changed our lives. We could have had small, long-term rentals that would have did okay. When we did that, it changed everything we did.
Because of the cash flow?
Because of the cash flow, the area, we were able then to buy the next one, and then that allowed us to buy the next one. And yes, the cash flow helped. We refinanced them. We pulled money out. We bought again. We kept splitting each one.
Yeah.
Like
We would capitalize on you know, the increase in value of the property,
equity.
and they did really well, just basically rent wise as well. And then we fell in love with the area, which didn't hurt. So we loved being up there. We would take the kids up there, and Steve, you know, another one of the things he had to talk me into out of $1 million, but you know, I didn't want to do it. And he was like, look, whatever, you know, we know what we spend on average per year taking the kids on family vacations, and you and I go on a trip by ourselves. Like, if we don't do any of those, but we take that same money and put it into this house, but we vacation here, the kids vacation here, we'll be fine. Like, we're not going to lose our shirts.
It'll check out either way.
Either way, like he was like, we won't lose money. I was so worried about losing
when,
money.
And that home increased in such value when we refinanced it. We bought another home in Lake Harmony, and we had the down money for the farm. Yeah. So that first home has now created other
much.
wealth and other homes that make us money, and now an 11-acre farm that we now is, and that thing's changed so much in a year and a half. And I think you've seen
Oh yeah, for sure.
what we've done there as well.
I always got the vision. I guess I didn't. I just was like, wow, like you didn't hesitate in any regard on like the property was a risky property.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like being that I've like done stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I looked at it and I was like, all right, like I definitely had a little bit more of like a respect for like what you were doing. I was like, I could see how this will work. I knew like from talking to you, like I wasn't aware of like the demand or really thought about it, I guess, for the tourism demand.
Yeah, we
So
weren't.
once I talked to you about it, I was like, wait a minute, this man's on to something.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta stand back here, and then I knew you had to get like through a bunch of hoops and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So like
Yeah.
I knew, you know, from like a business owner standpoint, like that was a shitty time to go through. But like you know, you knew you had the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And we had to keep pushing it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you buy this property, you need to get your license to be able to do what you need to do. And if they say, well, you got to do this, it's not like you could just
You
go.
just got to pay your way out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just go, okay, so we're just not going to make as much money the first year. And
That's a really stressful, like that's doing, like if you're growing business, I don't want to say correctly or incorrectly, but if you're pushing the envelope,
Yeah.
that feels like that all the time.
Oh, trust me.
So I know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that feeling's like to be like, damn, I cannot relax at any
No.
point. Like
Yeah.
those months, like he's seen me there. Where
No.
it's like, dude, Ed, we're all full throttle here. There is
Yep.
no vacation
There's-
right
Oh,
now.
well,
There is.
we just took our first vacation, I think, in 3 years, or me anyway.
Yeah.
And I actually did still work on vacation, of course, but like
We-
you just
yeah.
don't. You pedals to the metal all the time. You cannot like relax. You cannot like just let stuff go, because that's when things fall apart, or
Yeah.
you get caught with your pants down, and people are like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, or whatever.
That's why when people talk about balance and things like that, I'm like, yeah, but you're not sympathizing with the envelope being pushed the way it is.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
haven't experienced that. So like you're saying, oh, you need to take a break or be balanced, but it's like you're not. If I take your break,
You're
I'm
like-
going to
going to
be
be
in
a mess.
trouble.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we'll just
Yeah.
agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. I mean, you need balance, and we take our time. But again, in the business we're in, people rely on us for their vacation. Okay, so if she drops the ball, and
Yeah,
we'll talk
it's
about
all
what
on
she
me.
does, because now she manages other people's properties, including ours. So if you drop
And that's a killer business model as well.
and if you drop the ball, you drop the ball on someone's vacation where their family's coming. So that's what we
really
do.
important, yeah.
So we can't drop the ball. We can take the time when we know everyone's good, everyone's checked in, everyone's having a good time, and then her and I can go hit that place you keep talking about. That bar.
You're there like the most obscure times, and like that's why people probably think you're paying for marketing. They're like,
Yeah.
he's just putting money in the meter and getting a free advertisement. I'm like, no, it's probably like the only time during the week that you could get out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I'm like, no, I'm gonna get a call any minute that somebody doesn't know how to use the key lock pad, and they can't get in the house. So I'm like, just give me a little bit more time before everyone's checked in.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got a lot of that stuff worked out though now,
I do,
like
yeah.
down to
Yeah.
a science.
I try my best. It all comes down to whether or not people actually want to read what you give them to make sure they have a very seamless stay.
Yeah, is that how you how do you approach automating like the guest's experience so that like it's not as a demand on you?
I do use a marketing tool. Like I have a software that integrates all the calendars for all the different sites that I have. And it does automatically send out, 4 days before your check-in. Here's all of your information, Mr. Guest. Here's the door code. Here's what you need to know. Refer to the welcome book as soon as you can, because that has all of the information on the thermostats, the hot tubs, the TVs, the internet, codes, where to find things.
Because each property is like its own
Yeah.
person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. How to put the trash out, blah, blah, blah. And then also how to check out. So really, unless something goes really wrong, I shouldn't need to be communicating with them during their stay unless they want to reach out to me for some random nice thing or whatever, which people do, which is really nice. But for the most part, it's just when people are checking in that like they might not understand how to use a digital door code or they just don't read. I mean, people just don't read.
Yeah, but it happens a lot.
I know that. I know that.
And now I'm like, now at the point, and even like with my automation, some of my houses have car, auto pass this way to put a tag in the window. So, or they have beach tags in the summertime. So I'll send them a reminder that the night before they check out, hey, hope you're having a good time. Just as a reminder, make sure that you leave all the beach tags on the hook, or put the car passes back on the chalkboard or whatever, because those take rides home, and then that's a lot of extra chasing down and mailing back, and I have to get fined for it and stuff like that. So it's stuff like that. But for the most part, it's all somewhat automated.
And how important was that automating for the success, for you guys to grow it?
If I didn't, I'd lose my mind. Because I just can't possibly remember,
She has 16 homes.
There's 16 houses, and just for example, at Christmas, some houses might have 3 check-ins a week. So times that by 16. I can't possibly keep track of making sure I'm remembering to send everybody that welcome, hey, here's your check-in, here's this, here's that. I could, but I'd be strapped to my computer 24/7, and I'd be miserable. So I'm not going to do that, So finding the software that I use is awesome because, I'm able to just set it and forget it and go, okay, I know that message is going to get sent out. And I get reminders. It shows me that it was sent. If I feel like checking on myself, I can. But the minute somebody books, they get an auto message from me that says, congratulations, we can't wait to have you. Here's what's going to happen next, blah, blah, blah. So having all that just is a huge time saver for me. I would never be able to do, wood chips all day today at the farm, which is what I did. If I was having to, send all of these messages to every single person.
Yeah. So how many properties do you think would you max out at?
Ooh, that's a good question because
Don't ask me.
I'm kind of feeling pretty maxed at the moment, and I have a couple people asking me to help them out, and I'm like, ooh, am I gonna really be sorry that I do that?
Yeah.
But I'm always like, but I know I can. But at some point during summer times, they're just crazy in the Poconos, so I just get crushed.
And you have to go up there frequently, or?
I do. Somehow, some of the houses I only do their bookings, and I'm not responsible for any of their property management per se, the cleaners, cutting grass, all that other stuff. But other houses, I handle them fully. So I have to handle all the, the maintenance. I have to handle all the repairs. I get all the calls for everything, no matter what time of day or night. And I have to get them fixed and mediated, and remedied no matter what. So sometimes my lovely assistant helps me get them remediated personally, and we physically do the work. But for the most part, it's my job to bring in a contractor, or some vendor to make sure it gets done. But if we can kick stuff out, we do. We'll both go up together and get stuff done. Just because it saves the owner money, and we know it'll get done quickly and it'll get done efficiently. Not sometimes just some things are really expensive and they don't need to be.
When you guys are talking about investing in property, do you guys invest in anything else but physical property, stocks or anything like that as well?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, I've dabbled in a few things here and there. We own some Apple and Etsy and Snapchat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I have my share of cannabis stocks and, that have totally tanked over the last few years.
We're really not good at the stock market.
One of the things I know a lot, you see all these people on Instagram and everyone talk about how, you could follow this, you could do that. I just know I'm not really going to follow it. I'm not going to do something that I'm really not interested in. My mind works really well with real estate. I see things. I've said plenty of times before with Amy and I talking about it. I'm telling you, this is the area. This is where it's going to be next thing. It's going to happen. Give it 5 years. 5 years later, there's brand new, commercial buildings there. There's breweries. There's townhouses. You look at areas.
You're talking about Dublin.
Yeah, he was like,
That was a
10
killer
years
spot.
ago,
That brick building there a while ago.
I wanted that thing so bad,
Yeah.
and it never happened. But like,
I feel like everybody that was doing business around here looked at that building and was like, "What can we do with this?" And nobody.
oh,
had
he knew
the-
exactly what he wanted to do with it.
my deli in Philly was called Service Station. So I wanted a service station to now put a restaurant in, and that's what I wanted to
So
do.
seeing that, like, that mechanic
You know,
shop, I
that-
don't even know
yeah.
what it was. Was it a gas station or something?
It was a service station.
He's
You
like,
know,
oh, those garage doors, we'll make them in glass garage doors.
can have my name on it.
And we'll have, what were they, trash can lid? Or
wanted-
you want hubcaps?
I wanted to do nachos in
Like in a hubcap.
like in like a hubcap.
Like on paper in a hubcap,
and
like
a paper
serve
and
it
a
that way.
hubcap. That's what I wanted to do them on.
He had a whole vision.
It didn't work out. I bought some other shit. I bought a farm instead.
Yeah. And he's invested in a car too. But like we suck at we're not good at picking stocks. All of our stocks basically.
No,
suck.
sometimes I was more so asking just from like, when you talk to people that are in your position that have like experience now, it's not uncommon for you to be like, no, property only. Because like that's what you know, and that's where you put. There's nothing wrong with like that strategy. I was just kind of trying to figure out where your head's at.
we have our 401. You know, we have some.
Well,
stock
you probably
over
have stuff
here.
from like corporate.
Well, yeah,
America
my
time.
30-year 401 gig, but
And-
that's
but-
you know.
But
you know,
properties
that's not
like
lighting the
properties
world on
where
fire.
you put your heart at.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, one property made us more money than 20 years in the 401. So we can do that again. So I know what can be done, you know, with properties, and we've done very well with them. And they're always here. It's always there.
Buy dirt.
It's always here. Stocks gone. A CEO lies and says, I mean, her
You know,
company
one of the companies I worked for and like blood, sweat, and tears, I had tons of stock. That's how
She
they
was a
would pay us
manager.
all of our bonuses.
It's a smart strategy.
They were like, oh, we're not going to give you any cash for killing it this year, but here's your stock bonus, blah blah blah. They went like literally went under. The owners went to jail.
This was during
Yeah.
like the
This was in the '90s.
the tech time
The
when
tech
they
boom,
all
when
yeah.
MCI and
Definitely
everybody
a
was
risk.
splitting. So like I was like, you know what?
We lost
You
a
can't
lot of
trust.
money.
You just can't trust anybody at the top. I just don't trust big business. I don't trust big corporations. I think they spin things the way they need to make sure that they're looking good, on NASDAQ or on whatever whatever they're listed on. And I have firsthand experience. They told all of us legit, like, oh, we're doing great, buy more stock. It'll never be this cheap, blah, blah, blah. 3 weeks later, we all got fired and they were arrested.
Damn, they rug pulled you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
they were misquoting
You know
all
what
of
I
our
did?
numbers to the board.
You know what I did?
And they were reporting incorrect numbers on whatever. I don't know what.
We were buying a house, and
Mm-hmm.
we were 1 month out, and I ended up buying shares, thinking we could turn it over real quick, and lost another $20,000
Yeah,
because
they were
to
telling
them.
us, "Oh, buy more.
So-
we're good. We swear."
I don't.
Yeah.
I stick with properties now.
The reason I ask is because Ariel's like getting her real estate license, and we're starting because I've also spent a lot of money on commissions and things like that.
Yeah.
So like that's if we're buying property.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why not just kind of keep more of it in
Absolutely.
house? And we
Yeah.
obviously have the construction company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
for sure.
we're starting to like scale up this little trifecta here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been talking to a lot of people like in your position, kind of like, what do you think? Because right now I'm very spread out across like obviously equities, like crypto.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And real
I-
estate. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out like, is it good to be that diversified, or is it better just to kind of just?
I'd like to have a few little things, but honestly, if like, so where I look at being diversified in real estate is like the long-term and short-term rental. And now I have a few little ideas that
Okay.
I started talking with Amy about. Why? Because the long-term gives you,
It's protection
benefits,
long-term.
and then the short-term gives you much more money per month.
Well, I
And
see when
there's,
when
you
you're
know-
doing the short terms, you're you're cash flow positive on your properties like much easier.
Yeah.
When you buy a rental, people think like, oh, you just own rental properties, you must be rich. It's like, well, no.
No.
If I'm
No.
paying all the bills and we're net zero every month, that's a win.
Yeah.
The goal is to have to build the equity long term so
Yep.
that property is worth more
Yep.
plus the growth.
Yes, and I also like, there's a lot of people that like it, the long term. I do like having the positive cash flow, which the short term rental business gives you a higher positive cash flow. And again, it's all about numbers. You know this. If you're buying the house too high and you can't rent it, and
You're never going to make it work.
It doesn't matter what.
Yeah, if you don't buy right, it's not even a conversation, so it doesn't matter.
You probably know this.
You make
don't
money
make
on the buy.
money. You don't make money when you sell. You make money when you buy. If you bought it right, you're going to make money in the end. But if you didn't buy it right, it doesn't matter. You're not going to sell it for the money. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally do. That's
Yeah.
why I get a little bit like we've been renting for I guess 2 years now, and we sold our place at like the peak of the market.
Yeah.
And I look at a lot of people that have bought homes in the last like 2 year period, and I'm kind of like, look, the house you bought, like you're gonna outgrow that house in less than 5 years. You're gonna move again. Like, where are those risks aligned? And so like I obviously with like the rental properties, you have to look at it, or you're trying to look at it much further out. So I feel more comfortable buying rental properties more than I would feel buying like a personal residence, mainly because of the limitations on like, oh, now you've committed to this property to live in for at least
An overpriced
5
property.
years.
Correct.
The longer you live in your home, the better it is for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are out
In most
5 to
cases.
7.
Yeah.
And you talking about real estate with Ariel, she was in the corporate world. COVID came in. She lost her job. Went back into corporate again, and it was just getting to be too much. I mean, she's done it for like almost 30 years. I was just like, hon, you've made millions and millions and millions of dollars for all these people who own these businesses. Why not just take the energy and the knowledge you have and let's just, you and I do it for
but
us.
there's a lot of good things that come from corporate jobs. Like, I never...
Ulcers.
but when there are people that like the stress that we put ourselves through as business owners
correct.
is not necessarily
for
the
everyone.
best choice like for longevity of health and things like
It's
that.
not for-
So I think like but you are that's why you're an anomaly. It's because you're out here doing all these stressful deals and you still look young. There's something to this. We got to find out about this Frankfurt water.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what you should open a restaurant called Frankfurt water or Philly water.
That
Yeah.
would sell.
Philly water.
Philly water.
That would
Philly
tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But she got into real estate, and she realized after, the years of, seeing how we were growing and what could be done. And honestly, it's been, 3 years now?
Yeah, I guess.
3
Would
years.
you have done it sooner?
I would have. I should have done it a lot sooner.
It was
I was just
killing her.
afraid to make the jump. I was afraid. I didn't want to disappoint people that I worked with and for, and
That's like the primary
and the fear of
thing.
the unknown, and I had the health insurance, and I had the, I had the stability. I was the stability one,
Yeah.
and that's how I was raised, and I always still have that tug, I got to make sure I have some money every month coming in, as a realtor, I know his routine. I know come December, it's pretty fucking quiet until March. He might not have a paycheck for months.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore. I used to do it when I sold cars. I'm not doing that again.
Are you guys good with budgeting because of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always know where we're at. We're not really budget people.
We're good because we know what we have coming in.
Yeah.
We have multiple homes that are making money every month. If I have a few months where things are slow, that's not going to kill
But
us.
you're
Yeah,
good
but
at-
that's now. But back when how old were you guys when you had Nick and
Oh,
Steve?
back then? Oh my God,
25.
shit. Yeah, we weren't.
We
the
were so broke.
No, and we were not the best. We had a house way too big than what we needed. We had cars that we didn't need, and we were spending money out the ass. And we thought we were.
I was doing really well.
Yeah, she was doing really well, and so was.
And we were spending it really well.
And we were, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you're like, man, that was really dumb. Man, why did I do that? I didn't need that, you know. And now we are like, it's funny to think about it because we're like tight now. Like, we don't really spend a lot of money on stupid things. I bought my truck. I've had my truck for 5 years. It's just a Toyota Tacoma. That's all it is. It's nothing.
I just drive a
under
shitty
under
Hyundai.
that beautiful wrap.
Other than that beautiful wrap with my
That's what
face.
that is? That's a Tacoma? No shit.
See that?
God
You
damn.
thought that was a big ass Range Rover or something.
I didn't know what was under there.
Something fancy.
Just wrapped up in beauty. George
Dude, Tacomas are nice cars, though.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
they
Yeah,
are.
it is.
They are. Yeah. I mean, there is something to be said about living, like not buying new trucks every year.
You know what?
No,
And-
we don't live like that.
But you know what's really nice is we've been able to, like you said, kind of budget that. Like I would sell real estate, and I would say to Amy, I'm like, oh, you know, let's go buy, investment property. She's like, how are we doing that? I'm like, I got it. I like squirreled away money over the last year, and then we would buy a place, and then that would turn into the next one. I was just talking about this yesterday. When you start seeing that, like you start seeing that kind of grow, and then next thing you know, you're like, I'm not spending for that, like, because
It is wild, right?
Well, yeah, when you
start
see
getting
that, if you
like,
just save,
ooh.
you just start saving your money, and you then see it realize into something amazing. It's like, I can't wait to start saving my money again.
Then you start saving again to buy the next one, and then you're like, how can I figure this out to do that? That's how we've gotten now. Now it's like, yeah, my sneakers have holes in them, but I'm good. Like, it sounds stupid, but you kind of get to that point where you're like, I'll spend if I need to, but we don't do.
Hey, I'm a thrift store shopper. I buy thrift shit. So
Yeah, it's
like,
the best.
I'm on Poshmark buying my used shoes.
I mean, we just got done talking about how this is like the greatest place in the country to live. Like the thrift stores around here are premium.
yeah.
These boots are thrift store boots.
I've noticed, like, ever since you got the farm, like, you've really adopted the character of being a farmer. I want to salute. Like, you didn't just buy it. You like became it.
Dude, it's the uniform. He
You
needs
know,
this stuff.
you know what?
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, my dad was into like Charlie Daniels and Kenny Rogers, and he had a small trucking company. I wore cowboy boots, I had a cowboy hat. We used to drive in a truck. I loved that. I had ponies when I was 10 years old.
In Philly?
And they were in New Jersey. That's where his business was. But we had 2 ponies when I was like 10, 12 years old. So I was always into that. Like, I loved it. But, of course, you grow up and you get out of it and things change. You start playing sports or whatever. But I always, like, thought, man, if I could get back to that. So
Just be a cowboy.
Here's my chance.
That's cool.
I can't wait for you guys to get cows.
I know.
Soon.
Because
Yeah.
then I feel like that'll complete
Soon.
the circle. Like, you guys are literally, like, beam up.
We're gonna be like, it really is like farm now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. Sheep, cows, and then, of course, horses are on the
you got a
horizon.
horse.
He is.
The horse is coming?
He's breaking me down.
They're on the horizon. Listen, if I'm getting cows, I'm going to have to, like, direct these cows around.
Ultimate cowboy.
You gotta get a horse to do the cows.
Hell yeah.
That's not true at all.
I know.
No, you have to. What are you talking about?
I know an
You have to.
I know an ATV can do it, or maybe a leash, but
Nah, a horse, man. It's the only way.
Yeah, you need a horse to do it.
A good dog.
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to get like a livestock dog. Like who's
I
gonna
know.
protect? Who's gonna protect all these animals when you're not there?
The
Yeah.
horse.
The horse.
Get a donkey. They're protectors.
We were talking about horseback riding last week with Denise on the podcast, and the concept of horseback riding. Like, go back to like when the first dude was like, "I'm gonna ride that."
I know.
Like, think about the balls that guy had, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when you become a horseback rider nowadays, you channel a little bit of that energy that's left over in the universe. So, like, I think that's what you're after.
And I'm doing lessons now, and
You're getting horseback riding lessons?
Yeah, horses coming, dude. They're getting one.
I already have 2 saddles at the farm. I just need a horse.
And you got this.
I buy the saddles before the horse.
Yeah, he's that guy.
What comes first? The
Yeah.
chicken or the egg?
I'd say
saddle or the
saddle.
horse.
Saddle, dude.
Manifest it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, how important, because I know you're into the manifesting, like, how dangerous is it to, like, make sure, or, like, I guess, like, I don't know how to ask this, like, how important it is to, like, manifest, like, the stuff you actually want?
What totally sucks, I'm going to interrupt you,
Yeah,
is
go for it.
he's a manifester.
Yeah.
He makes every one of those fucking things happen. And I do not want a horse. and he's manifesting a horse. I'm like, God damn it. How do I keep this horse from
She
happening?
knows it's coming.
That's crazy.
And
Just start buying a lot of glue.
This guy's unstoppable.
I'm like, no, I don't
you know
want
what?
a horse.
And she knows, and I hate to say it because I don't want to sound cocky, but she knows there's not a thing that she's going to be able to do about it.
The universe yearns for it.
You know what? I already am partners in a horse trailer. So I bought that so that I didn't have to worry about how I was going to transport it. So I'm already, and it's her brother-in-law. So
See what I'm doing?
Is that dude now ask for forgiveness later? That's what
you
you
know
did?
what, though? The manifesting, as you know, you talk to my kids. I think that's where my kids get it. I talk to Amy about it all the time. Especially with like the first rental property in Lake Harmony, you know, her and I didn't agree on it. We didn't see eye to eye, and I unfortunately said to her, "It's something I've thought about years ago." I took us all to the same area, you know, to that lake, to see the area, to just be around it, and I found a home, and I was like, I want this, and we weren't agreeing, and I was like, I couldn't get out of my head. I saw it done. When I see things, I actually see it decorated. I can see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's real to me when I'm looking at something like that. The farm,
Yeah, you
know,
have a
we're-
good skill that way. Like, that's definitely a talent.
the farm was crappy when we bought it. Now we just put a big arch over the driveway with our RH hanging from it like Yellowstone. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but there's something. The thing, like, I also subscribe to manifesting. Obviously, I live a pretty great life. The thing that sometimes I struggle with the concept is, I'm also the type of person that's not going to sit around and wait for someone else to do it,
Yeah.
like, to a fault.
Well,
Like,
that's him.
I've gotten myself into some jams in the years, like with car motors, like different things, like just like, being like,
Okay.
oh, we can fix that, like, or we can build that, or like, and you always get out of it, but it's not without stress,
Yeah.
and hard work.
Yes.
So I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm like, am I manifesting this because I'm just thinking about it so much that my body is just like, we're just going to continue working until we have this? Or is it like a universal power and spirit? Like, I never quite can lock that down for myself.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear what, like, kind of you think about that. Because I also see you up on a goddamn shed roof and by yourself in the middle of, like, a Tuesday roofing a roof that you know needs to get done. So, like,
And I've never
you're
done
a
it
doer.
before.
Yeah.
and,
like-
and the same thing. Like I wanted that archway over the driveway as just a powerful entrance to the farm. Since we do have a really long driveway, it's a stone driveway. It has the pastures next to it. To me, right now, Yellowstone is a big thing, and I think if sometimes you can capitalize off other people's marketing. I thought about what would be the best, like, entrance to this place, and it looks like Yellowstone now when you pull down the driveway, and that's what I was thinking. But it's very hard to put up 17-foot high poles that are 7x7, and then get 26-foot 7x7 up on top of that. I didn't know how to do it. But I kept thinking, I'll figure this out. And guess what? we did it in 2 days, and we didn't do it with any lifts, anything. We had a Kubota and a few guys and 2 ladders.
And a lot of not
That's
common sense.
a lot of balls in, just that we want to get this done. And
He deserves a horse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Stop it.
That's what I'm saying. Unstoppable.
What are you gonna do with your horse? Are you gonna like do barrel riding? Like where are we
No,
gonna ride?
man.
Like,
You
you just want to pet him? Like what do you want to do?
No, I want to move those cows around.
So
my
like,
God.
the first day you mount that horse and like you'll be like yeah, and like get the cattle into one pasture from the other. You'll be like, I've made it.
Yeah.
I've made
Yep. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, now what?
Yeah, you
No,
would
no,
be
And then I'll
like,
be
now
like,
what do I do?
hey, hun, we need to buy a bigger farm because
Yeah.
I need more area.
Like, I'm bored with this
I
stupid
know exactly what's happening. here.
pasture.
This is a maneuver.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, do you think I don't know?
He's gonna be the largest cattle holder in like east of the Mississippi,
I would-
and north of the Mason-Dixon.
I'm going
would-
to become a ranch hand.
Yeah.
I would try to hip shoot from the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
You
go.
gotta try that at least once.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he's just shy of the amount of acres you need to shoot on your own land.
Yeah,
though.
there you go.
We need 1 more acre, I
You
think.
can hit a,
That's
so
fine.
start with the bow.
guy behind me asked if I wanted to buy some of the acres he has. So,
We'll-
I'm good. I'm good. So what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, it's gonna evolve, man.
I'm doing... Hey, neighbor, I need 3 acres.
Just shooting balloons.
Yeah, which look real cool.
We're gonna
on it.
change her name to Amy Oakley.
Yeah.
How many acres do you need?
I think you need just over 12.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
I think you're 1 acre short.
Shit.
Damn.
I wish I would have known.
Well, once we get the horses, we'll mount them and we'll ride on horseback to your neighbor's house.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, it's a long journey. And,
Long journey.
and
10-acre
and
journey.
we'll just take it.
I will take it.
We'll take it on Calvary, just like straight,
Yeah.
right into battle.
Oh, my God.
Could you see like him and like Nick and Steve just like
Oh yeah.
riding horses like dreadlocks in the air?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I could see it, too.
Yes.
But, hey, someday. I do manifest a lot. It has worked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far,
What do you, when you guys bought the farm, like what was your vision as far as like incorporating Nick and Steve's business? Like, would you like, because like you guys are renting it out to like hotel guests, like how does that all like currently look, and like how do you see that going?
Good.
I think the reason why we loved that property was it had the first room that when you walk in had this massive, it was kind of an awkward room. I think they did it as an addition maybe for an in-law that never worked out, but it was this huge room, and we were able to put a 14-person like old school table, wooden table in that room. So the twins, with their chef business, they could now host dinners there for guests that would otherwise not have enough space in their own private home to have, a party of 14. Like my house, for example, where we live, I can't host a 14-person dinner at my house. I have a very tiny house. So if I wanted to host a party for everybody, I could then rent the farm, or the boys could let them use the farm for their dinner, a private dinner at Rocking Horse Acres instead. So they've had a lot of events there already. They have quite a few already, planned up through the summertime as well. It's worked out really nice. A lot of their guests that have had them numerous times, because they have a lot of clients that have, will hire them back, for no reason at all. They're like, oh, you know what? Let's change up, the venue, and rather than you come to our house for the 5th time, let's go to the farm and use the farm and do it there. So it's really made it a nice, fun, change for them. And they have all the space. The kitchen's really big and all that stuff. So they still bring all of their own supplies and they don't use our flatware or serviceware or anything. They still bring all of theirs the way that they would, for any other dinner. And then our next goal is to redo the garage and make that in like a space that's usable rather than having our garage tools. So that would even be an even larger space. So we could even have dinners greater than 14 people in there.
And that's the project for this year.
Yeah.
The doors are ordered, so we're going to get like glass doors like you would see on like a brewery. So the 2 garage doors are going to be glass. We're going to do the inside old, farmhouse rustic.
Whoa.
And
Lots
then
of funky chandeliers and stuff like that.
And
That's
then you'll be
cool.
able
Yeah.
to sit out there, and maybe, women can have like baby showers, or you can have like small little birthday parties. We'll have like little outside tables and lights and, little things where it's not a big venue, but we were looking at anywhere like maybe 25 to 40 people that could do something smaller there,
Yeah.
and they can use the house
Something
as
more
well.
intimate, but like
Yeah.
if you have, if you have foul weather and you want to have a 40-person shower, I don't really want to have 40 people in my house because it's
In the
really
living
not.
room.
That's too much. It's too many people. You're not going to be comfortable. It's going to be crowded. So if we were able to have the extended space in the garage, then they can either stay in the garage area or, go back and forth, from the house to the garage, but at least you'd have a little bit more space to move about. If you couldn't use the yard, the property itself as, your fun zone.
And since it's all detached, I think it gives it a little bit different feel. Like the garage is shaped like a barn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's right across from the house. The parking lot's right in the center. So I think it gives it that little feel where you can maybe put some tables out there and have the house and the garage kind of bounce off each other. So that's what our goal is. We're starting to try and put that together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yep.
And you so you say you're starting to integrate the twins more with stuff. I know they do a lot of business. How was that to see like having sons and then seeing them start their own businesses? Like, what was that feeling like? It's like, oh man, it's in me, so it has to be in them or something.
I mean, they were always...
They've got the disease.
Yeah, they were in the kitchen for years, but it was nice to see them take charge of a bad time, which was COVID, turn it around, learn, and then start their own business and capitalize on that. When a lot of people were just chilling and not capitalizing on things, to see your kids capitalize on a time in life, which was the craziest time we've all experienced, was pretty awesome. And for them to be able to have their own business, is awesome as well. But to watch them do that and understand what was going on and to take it and use it to their advantage was pretty cool.
And you guys kind of probably sat back and were like, all right, they're going to be okay.
We did.
We did.
Yeah,
Because
we
you
did.
knew at that point, they're like, okay, wait a minute. Like, they just created a business.
Yeah.
And set up all this stuff. And, like, they're constantly improving their processes and stuff. But,
Always.
like, at that point, as a parent, you got to be like, wow, we can now relinquish any sort of worry because this person's self-sustaining.
Well, you know what? There was times where, thought I know everything all the time. I would say something and they're like, no, that's not, we're not going to do it that way. And things don't work like that in a restaurant. And I'm like, all right, what do I know? You know what I mean? Like, I need to sit back and understand they've been in a restaurant for 15 years, started a business, understand what they're doing. They have a vision.
And they have a product.
They don't need my 2 cents. If you need a hand and you want me to help you, ask. But I'm not going to give you my 2 cents, especially in something. If they wanted, if they asked me, hey, Dad, how do you think I should go about buying a house? I'm all about it. But it was to be able to see them do that and know that they had it. Like her and I said plenty of times, wow, like they have it. They're good.
They're working hard. They're learning a lot. Like they were never technically, savvy. They were not computer kids. They were outside, they'd skateboard and play music. Like they weren't on the computer. They didn't play a lot of video games even for that matter. So like seeing them have to learn, business products and how to, do invoicing and all of that fun stuff. Like I know that was a struggle, but they've mastered it. They're doing great. They have, they had a great accountant on their own. They don't ask us for any advice. They just go get it done, make shit happen. So, cool. And like now having them, the farm's really been a big collaborative because we really rely on them to do all the gardening. And that's their thing. Of course, they want to raise their own, vegetables and fruits and things like that as much as they can and just learn. They want to learn how to do the gardening and how to raise their own food. And that's part of the reason we're going to have the cows. It's going to be, to feed us. It's not going to be just, as a, entertainment for guests. It's going to have a purpose. And every 2 years we'll, replace and repeat.
Yeah, let's let the record state the cows are going to be eaten.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to earn your keep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be cool for the guests, but, we buy farm cows now, already,
butchered.
cut up and
yeah,
butchered.
Like we'll as a family we'll buy a half cow, for example,
Right.
and we have we'll split it up, and we've got a freezer and blah blah blah. So
Now-
they introduced us to that, like eat better, buy better, which we're adopting to that whole process. But they're like, well, let's take it to the next step. Why don't we just raise our own? Let's try. That's again the pigs. Nick wants to do pigs. Same reason we'd be raising pigs to slaughter to feed feed the family. But in the process learning, but it's awesome because now pretty much every day we have a chat that's called Farm Men, even though I'm on it. I guess I'm one of the men. And we're like, all right, who's going to be there? Who's got the chickens? We need to do this. I need a pair of hands for that. Like everyone's got their like gig, for the week. And then they go, well, we have 55 dinners, so we can't do anything.
Who, for the record, who was that? Who was that? Was that Nick or Steve?
Come on, you know who that was. Who has the longest hair out of the two?
Yeah. I will commend you though. Like I know no family's perfect, and I know enough about you guys. Like know that you've been through a lot, but like it is very impressive to see a family that's not Guatemalan, like spending time and like supporting each other, pretty unconditionally from what I can see.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And to be able to share that with like your family on like a regular basis has been like,
There's really nothing better. Like,
yeah, no,
there is nothing better.
It's really different than how I grew up, but it's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. And Alex, he's in Syracuse, and we wish, he would come back, but he's doing his own thing. And we support what he's doing as well up there. And when he's around, if he can help us down here, he does. And it is cool to be able to have your kids doing things and you support them. They enjoy what they're doing, and we have said to Alex, if that's what you enjoy doing and that's where you want to be, we can't.
You're out of the well.
It helps with his legend. He
Yeah.
has like this. He
Alex,
has
yeah.
Alex. If you listen to this, you've got like a legend going on.
Yeah.
The legend of Alex. So like when he pops up from time to time, they're like, "Oh, that's Alex." I'm like, "Yeah, I know who your brother is, dude."
Yeah.
But he's like everyone's favorite.
Yeah, he really
Everyone's
is.
like, Alex!
Yeah.
Alex is home.
Yeah.
It is pretty awesome.
He gets all the goo
I
goo
miss him.
gagas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I miss him. But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to be able to do what we're doing. To see the boys all the time. And like today, Steven was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I got a fire going, out in the driveway, and I'm burning some wood, and we're putting chips around the back of the garage." And he's like, "All right, I'm coming by." And it comes by, grabs a beer, and then we hang out and chit chat. And like to be able to do that, or like we were just talking
Yeah.
about the whole grass cutting Wednesday at 12 o'clock. We all get together and cut grass. 2
Yeah,
hours
Wednesday's the
later,
grass
2 o'clock, we're drinking.
I knew we ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Pretty
like,
much.
as parents? Like, how did you guys transcend like all of the ages with 3 boys? Like, elementary school, teenage years, like like how did you get through all of that with like your family intact the way you do?
People always thought that we were like lackluster, like don't give a crap type parents because we let our kids jump bikes, bike ramps, and we let them do flips
There's
off
some
of
wild boys. You
off
can't
of
contain that.
swing,
No.
tops
that's
of
what I did,
swings, and they did boy stuff like all the time, but we were really strict. I was strict.
Yeah.
And they were accountable. They were grounded. They lost their phones when they were in trouble, and they were punished just like I was raised Irish Catholic, so my ass was in trouble all the time, and they were raised the same way. And they understood respect, and they knew to be respectful, and they knew to not push it more than they should. Trust me, they push plenty of limits, like every kid is supposed to do, and they did a lot of dumb things that they're supposed to do. And I remember specifically him and I saying, "Look, our job is to make sure all the dumb things you're going to do doesn't kill you, doesn't kill your brother, and doesn't kill somebody else, or put you in jail." If those 3 things are fine when you're 18, we win. And that's all we got to do.
Just keep them safe. I mean, it's, it's tough. You just, there's so many things out
So
there
many
in the
bad
world.
influences and
The drugs and the things that people do and just what can happen. And we've said to them a few times, I think that has helped when they were like teenagers and even when they were like friends who were in college. And I always said to them, dude, if you walk in somewhere, just think a few more seconds before you grab that first beer. If you think you should be doing something, should you really be there? Right before
or
you
if someone's
get in a
trying to get you
car,
to do something stupid,
right?
just take 3 more seconds than they are taking, your friend, before you get in their car or whatever, and just go, is this
should I
going to be potentially not good?
And they've said, they've been at parties at Temple and they've been at parties and they're like, when we were in there, we just looked at each other and went, I don't think this is the right place to be. And that's all you can ask. And it's because a lot of times, I mean, we've done, you all hyped up, you go to a party and think, oh, this is great. And there's all the bad decisions, but if you can just instill your kid, if you could just take a couple of seconds before you start down that road and go, is this really where I should be tonight? Is this really what I should be doing?
Yeah, is this going to end the way I need it to?
And knock on wood,
But how did you build like the camaraderie? Like you guys have like this little unit, this team, the service mafia.
I know. My dad brought us up that way. We had a small family business and her family were very tight as well. And I just think it was always about, my dad told me, you're going to be the only one that can make shit happen. Don't rely on anyone else. You do it. You want something, you go do it, whether it was sports or whether it was business. I had a limo business with him when I was 18 years old. We just kind of kept that whole thing going where family is first. Family over everyone.
Yeah, we all have the same tattoo, family over everyone. And that's
just the way
that's our motto, and that's how we roll. And you're going to get backstabbed by everybody, but you should not get backstabbed by your family, especially your immediate family.
You can always count on us, no matter what it is.
So we just taught them, we're always going to be there for you.
There.
They were taught, and one of the things you asked how we, raised them to, not be complete wackadoos. One of the things we always said was don't lie. We refuse to be lied to. And if we catch you lying, your ass is grass. But if you tell us the truth, you're not in trouble. So we always said, if you do something stupid or something bad happens and you need to come to us, we're the ones you can come to when you're in trouble or your friends are in trouble, and you'll never be in trouble with us. We'll take care of it. But if we find out because someone comes knocking on our door that, you and Johnny are in a ditch drunk somewhere and we didn't know about it, you're in big trouble. Because we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be humiliated. We don't want to have to bail you out of something. And God forbid, we don't want you to get hurt or hurt somebody else. So we always taught them, come to us. And they did. And there was a few instances as teenagers when they did. And it was pretty bad situation. And they're like, nope, my parents always said that you can come to them. And we did, and their friends were petrified, and they ran away. And kids came in, and they told us what was up.
And thank God it worked out.
Everything worked out okay, but
it could have been bad.
Yeah, it could have been really bad. But I don't know. I think once they saw that actually was true, and they trusted that they trusted that what we said, our word was our bond. Dumb and Dumber. Then they were like, okay, now we're really a team. Now we really know that mom and dad are our shit.
They'll help us if there's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we just lean on each other when we need to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yep.
It's a good way to live. Do the right thing. If you don't lie about it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Own it.
Just walk around owning just doing bad shit.
Yeah, but that's not doing the right thing. You're doing bad shit.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get it.
Yeah.
Quick funny story, real quick. Nick tried to lie one time. He's downstairs and he's a teenager, and I hear him talking. I walk down the steps, I walk around, come through the dining room, and all of a sudden he jumps up out of the sofa and jumps back down, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Nothing. It's like, were you just on the phone? It's 2 a.m. Nah, man, I wasn't on the phone. I go, I'm going to ask you one more time. Were you on the phone? No, I wasn't on the phone. I go over, I pick up the phone, it's fucking red hot. I'm like, your ear burned that phone for the past hour. He's like, oh, shit. I'm like, dude, trust me. Don't lie. And that's,
You're always going to get caught.
Yeah, it's true.
Nick, you're such a dumbass. Dummy head.
You're too honest, dude.
Cool. You got anything special to ask or inquire about?
I just think it's amazing the way you raise your family, and you two have done a lot in your life, and I think it's sick.
Thank you.
You guys are
Thank you.
cool. Like I mean, I love my dad, but a dad like you would have been cool. But I love my dad.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
We just like having fun.
Yeah.
We
Stay young.
we love being out with them. There's nobody else we'd rather go on vacation with or hang out with. Like, anytime we get a chance to be together as a family, we do it. But we hope that other people see that and enjoy being in our company when we're all together, because that just makes it that much more fun. And we have a pretty big, large, extended friend network of that we consider family as well. So it's been really cool. It's been really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
keep trying to
Yeah.
enjoy our time while we have it, and
Yep.
do as much
Life
as we can.
isn't forever.
Yeah, we don't take it for granted, I guess.
Dude, I have one more thing that just popped in my head that I wanted to ask you about. Did you donate an organ?
Yes.
Yeah. How did that sorry if I'm putting you on the spot here,
okay.
but I saw you post one time and I was like, dude, this lady's been everywhere. What has this family not done?
Donating
obstacles.
organs.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe I almost forgot that happened. Like you posted, I was like, I said to Ariel, I was like, these people are everywhere. Like,
One for you. One for
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, his unfortunately, part of his family has a hereditary kidney disease that's not fixable. So I tried to donate to his sister Karen back in the day. I don't know, maybe 92, I don't know, 97, something like that. And it just didn't work out. I was a match for some reason. I just happened to be a match. I don't know why. But the doctors wouldn't let me do it. I had 3 small kids, and they don't want to put you, as a donor in any kind of harm's way.
Yeah. Risk
Yeah.
reward.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, that's great that you're willing to do it, but we don't want your family suffering if something happens to you, blah, blah, blah. So years later, Steve's younger brother, Brian, was really struggling with his kidney he was on dialysis and not feeling real well, and was just struggling, not living life the way he could or should be. So I got tested again.
And my mom already had 2 kidney transplants and passed away, and my brother died of kidney cancer, my older brother.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one out of my siblings that don't have polycystic kidneys.
Okay.
So she saw my years of going through that and those kind of things. And then,
And his loss.
And unfortunately, what's crazy is I wasn't a match for any of them. And I couldn't do it. She was a match more than I was.
Yeah.
What was that like in your mind? Like you just no questions asked.
Oh,
I'm
no
just gonna
questions.
Step up and do this.
You know what's really weird? It's just I never want to see him suffer again by losing a family member. It's just been it's just terrible, and he's had a lot of loss. It just sucks. So I was like, there's no way I want to ever have that happen again. And I don't know why, and I pass out with needles, but I was like, I'm going. This is going to be amazing. We're going to do it. And I got tested for Brian. I didn't even tell him. And once I got the results that I was a match, and they were like, well, I had to go through a lot. But once I got through it, and they said, yeah, we're going to allow you to do it as long as his team is willing to take you. Your kidney's only as big as your fist. Brian's a large, dude. He's tall. I'm not. I'm the anti-tall person. So they were like, as long as they're willing to take your little tiny kidney, then we'll let you do it. And I called him up. I'm like, brother, January 31st, we're going to go. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? And we did it. And it was awesome. And
Yeah.
I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait.
So that was just the reason I wanted to bring that up, because it was one more when we were talking about the family stuff and standing by each other. That was that example popped in my head. I'm like, you guys live and breathe this
Yeah.
shit.
And
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you need. That level of commitment to your family is kind of
Yeah.
how you get to where you're
And
at.
Yeah.
and you know what? And again, I say this whenever we tell a story, whenever anyone asks. People don't realize living donors, my sister, someone died for my sister to get a kidney. Same with my mom. She got 2. My brother didn't get one quick enough and passed. But her giving that kidney got the next person their kidney quicker because now they're not waiting for one. So she saved another life. How many people down the line because she took and stepped up and gave Brian one. So now the next kidney can go to the next person. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
So it's something that is like, it's just living donors.
You're kind of just waiting around for.
It's all you're doing.
Yeah,
You're just waiting
if
around.
you're waiting in line, you want to have the least amount of people in line. So, if a living donor can alleviate some of that line and just say, okay, I'll do it. I'll get tested. I'll help you. I'll tell you what, I've had 3 kids. It wasn't that much worse than having a kid. It really wasn't. And I would implore people to not be so hesitant to think about doing it if you have a family member or friend or if you're even just that generous to just give it to a stranger. That's amazing if somebody does that. But I was working in 2 weeks. I had a week of bed rest. Really wasn't that terrible. I have a little incision, almost like a C-section incision, and a couple puncture wounds on the side, but you don't even know they're there. And I was up and walking that day. Brian was up and walking that day.
Dude, those doctors are amazing.
It's unbelievable what your body can really do, and a little bit of pain goes so far. I've already forgotten what it was like. I've forgotten what the pain was like. Wasn't anything that's traumatizing me. And 7 years later,
you are saving someone's life. Like I said, I've had polycystic kidneys in my family the whole life. My mom I remember I was a kid, my mom was in her 30s when she got her first kidney. My sister was in her early 40s, I think, at the time. So my brother didn't even make it to 48. And my younger brother was, I don't know, probably in his 40s at the time, and was not in a good spot. And so again, that's, it means a lot, but that is the kind of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yep.
It's incredible. Yeah, people lived incredible lives.
Yeah. Not done yet.
Yeah, not done yet.
There's a horse out there.
I still
At least one more podcast episode.
There'll be some more that we can talk about.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on and
I appreciate
being so open with us.
Oh yeah.
Let me put you on the spot like that. I was like, damn. When I read that, I was just like, dude, this lady. Next time I see her, I'm going to ask about this.
Yeah, it's amazing. You don't find that too often. And like I said, she saved my whole family, not one person. Because you lose one person, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So, yep.
But I guess we'll end on a positive note, because that'll be better. How'd you guys meet?
Jesus.
No, because I'm sure that's
it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into the full story, but
he forgot about this other business that he had too.
I had a detail shop in Philadelphia, and it went under, and I needed a job, and it was like the only time I was 22 years old, and I went for a job at Sussman Lincoln Mercury in Jenkintown. Got hired as a detailer and showed up 2 days later, and I was trying to get keys for a car, and I was like, didn't know where anything was at, and I was like, and then some blonde in a white, know exactly what she was wearing, white little pantsuit and blazer, turns and says, "Do you need a hand?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
and the rest is history.
That's it.
And
that's it.
A few kids and a kidney later.
Yep. And that was
That's cool.
1991.
And everybody at the dealership was like, "You're never going to get her." She says no to everybody because I had a boyfriend at the time.
Manifest. I was like, "You wait and see."
Yo,
and
you manifest that guy out of the picture. Dude, yo, nobody is safe.
You manifested
Nobody's
twins.
safe.
Yeah. I was.
But we got dared to go on a date. Our Christmas party, we went to.
Oh, the good old date dare.
Was it Houlihan's?
We went to Houlihan's right across the street from Sussman Lincoln Mercury in Jenkintown. Again, it was in the early 90s.
And we were playing quarters, and they're like, "If Steve gets a quarter of that glass, we go on a date." I'm like, "Sure." Tink gets it right in. I'm like, "Oh."
Dude, quarter right in a pint glass. And I looked at it. I said, "Well, you said you would." So
And I'm like, oh, well,
And you're like,
you
manifest.
yeah, we went
Yeah.
on a date and
manifesting
that's
motherfucker.
And that's it. And it's
Yeah.
been 32 years together.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep, we just had our 30th wedding anniversary. So yeah, it's been a long time, been pretty crazy. A lot of ups and downs, but man, it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Dude, I'm glad you guys came. I
Yeah,
appreciate
same.
it.
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
We'll let
Thank
you
you.
go. We'll have to get a picture over by the fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
cowboy hat picture for the
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Do
had
us right, Gilmore.
I had
Do
to
you
take
right?
take my cowboy hat off to put my
Yeah, we have to do them right.
Headphones
To
off.
do a nice like Yellowstone like picture up in front of the
Yeah.
fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay. All right.
But thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having
And
us.
we'll put like the links and stuff to like all your
Cool.
guys' social media and stuff, so you don't have to like rattle that all off right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to connect with them, if you don't know them already, all that information will be in the bio.
Awesome.
Awesome.
But thanks for listening. This is No Prisoners Podcast. We're at 86 West. We'll see you at happy hour. And this is Gilmar and Andrew. And thanks for listening.